Hello, this is Jarkova, and let's talk about Jerry Springer, the talk show host and former journalist, actor, lawyer, and politician who was born in 1944. Yes, he was all of these things and more. Growing up, young Jerry's family life was quite a sad one, with both of his grandparents dying during World War II in the gas chambers at the extermination camps in Germany-occupied Poland during the late 30s to mid-1940s. His parents, Mum was a bank clerk and his dad the owner of a shoe shop, were German refugees who luckily escaped from the very same fates of their mothers respectfully. However, young Jerry got inspired to be a politician in 1960 at the age of 16 when he saw on TV and was impressed by then Democratic Senator John F. Kennedy, which in turn would later lead to his own political career many years down the track, later becoming the 56th mayor of Cincinnati from January 1st, 1977 until the following year, while also being a member of the Cincinnati City Council from both January 1st, 1972 to April 29th, 1974, being originally outed for his sex scandal with a paid sex worker, and again from January 1st, 1976 until 1981, where Jerry Springer's career really kicked off and where he is best remembered is for his trashy talk show, The Jerry Springer Show. Starting off on September 30th, 1991, the show and its host being Jerry would originally start off its TV life as a traditional talk show with its then focus being on political issues and current events of the day, whether it be the Gulf War or Bush Sr. being president. However, it would reformatted itself into a trashy tabloid talk show by 1993 with a greater emphasis on single-issue panel discussions with everyday people, whether it be two women fighting over their man who had more than two partners, the woman who found out her man was dating a transgender woman, to the even odder stories like my dad's a racist and I don't know how to feel about him, or my friends make fun of me for being gay. Oh no, wait, that was actually my real-life high school experience. They never did an episode on that, of course. During the show's more trashier run, there was many controversies over the indecency and violence from many different groups and organizations, but unfortunately, one particular case would eventually destroy Jerry's show and its format, which I'm not going to explain it here because it would be too long, but I do recommend checking out the Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix that came out about a couple months ago, which goes more deeper into the story of Jerry and his show better than I can in this video. And people are asking, why are you bringing up Jerry Springer? Well, the reason why I'm talking about Jerry Springer is because in 1995, Jerry Springer released a country and western album called Dr. Talk. Released in 1995 on CD, this album is a quotations comedy album if you include the title track and an otherwise serious album of Jerry awfully covering country classic standards. Shockingly enough, this album in total runs for an incredible 25 minutes with only 8 tracks. Like, the people behind this somehow knew how awful Jerry's vocals were and said, yep, 8's enough, but now if they only had 6-7 tracks... Oh, come on, it's funny. Fuck off. Suck on these nuts, you bitch-ass motherfucker. But today on Music Talk with Jarkova, let's take a look at Jerry Springer's 1995 album, Dr. Talk, and see if it's actually awful or just a misunderstood comedy album that's ironic. This is Music Talk with Jarkova, and I am your host, Jared. The first track, called Dr. Talk, is what I would call a novelty, tongue-in-cheek song that plays on Jerry's popularity at the time about how if you're feeling blue, just pop on a trashy talk show like his or his other competitors from that time, like Phil Donahue, Oprah Winfrey, and Sally Jessen, which all have a wide range of topics as spoken about in this song, with some lyrics that don't age well in this day and current cancel culture that we live in.
Where madams are sometimes sirs, you'll quit complaining, things could be worse, those calamities could be yours.
About how you'll see a madam who's really a sir. Overall, it's an okay song which wouldn't suck if Jerry didn't have this whiny type of singing that would have worked in the 50s and 60s with guys like Webb Pierce and Little Jimmy Dickens, to name a few examples. Track 2 is a cover of the country pop standard Let It Be Me, originally done by the Everly Brothers back in 1957, which has been covered by the likes of George Harrison, Elvis Presley, and Jerry Butler, to name a few. Here, Jerry Springer features an actually talented singer named Colleen Waters, who does an okay version of this song in that it's clearly him and her covering the version made famous by Kenny Rogers and Dottie West from the late 70s. While I understand and respect that everyone has different musical taste and styles, Personally, this version is too slow and boring for my taste. Track 3 is Cold Cold Heart, originally written and sung by Hank Williams back in 1951. This sounds like one of those generic karaoke tracks you find on YouTube while you're drunk, so that you can sing along to it. What makes this worse is that Jerry's trying to sing this in the original key Hank did it in, which is G, if I'm correct. If I'm not, please correct me in the comments. Normally I'd be like, yeah, sing it in G, as it's an easy key, even for the most not trained and talented singers in the world. For example, when I sang live with one of the few bands I was in back in high school, we used to do a song called You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, which the original Meatloaf version is in the key of A, right? We would lower it down to G, as that is where I feel most comfortable singing it, as I don't have the powerful voice of Meatloaf. But unfortunately on here, even the key of G doesn't save Jerry's very limited whiny sounding vocal range or whatever voice he has to record such a country album.
Why can't I free your doubtful mind? I know your cold, cold heart.
Perhaps the most oddest cover on this album is the Byrds' 1965 recording of the Bob Dylan tune Mr. Tambourine Man, originally of course written by Mr. Bob Dylan, but given to the Byrds and became a bigger hit in part due to their band member Roger McGuinn on lead vocals and 12-string electric guitar with the harmony vocals of Gene Clark and David Crosby backing him on the recording. While Jerry's version here is clearly a cover of that recording, it is nothing too special or interesting, but I find it weird that it's on a country and western album of all things. Like, couldn't you do like Hey Good Looking or I Can't Stop Loving You? Or Wasted Days and Wasted Nights as an example of other country songs to cover. One final thing is that it seems Jerry doesn't quite know this one properly. For example, he goes into this weird thing of sounding like he's an AI version of himself, reading the lyrics with the accent of a drunk Irish pirate instead of singing them.
Oh, take me on a trip upon your magic swirling ship. My senses have been stripped, and my hands can feel to grip, my toes too numb to step, waiting only for my boot heels to go wandering.
Changing Partners, the 5th track of this 8-track album, is another cover, but of a song by Patti Page, who most famously is known for the similar sounding Tennessee Waltz. Again, much like Let It Be Me, the female duet singing partner outshines Jerry here in that they sing better than he does on this whole 23-minute album. Yeah, you heard that right. This 8-track album is just 23 minutes long. Like, I get back when artists like Dean Martin and Elvis Presley would record an album, their albums would normally run for between 20 to 30 minutes, but by the mid-90s, most country albums would go for around 35 minutes to an hour, depending on the track listing and running time of each song on said album. Track 6, You Lay So Easy on My Mind, featuring Bobby G. Rice. What is it with Jerry and having duet partners joining him on songs? Like, if this was a whole duets album of different artists joining him, but there's only a grand total of 5 songs out of the 8 that are featured on this album that have duets in them. Personally, I feel as that by the middle of the recording sessions for this project, the engineer and producers were like, hey Jerry man, let's do some duets to accommodate your lack of good singing, and he was just like, okay, whatever, sure. This song called You Lay So Easy on My Mind is an old country song that has been covered by the likes of Roy Orbison, Conway Twitty, and Andy Williams, to name a few. But what Jerry's version has is that it features the original songwriter Bobby G. Rice. Here it sounds like Bobby's voice has obviously aged since his older recording of it, but not in a bad way, minus his voice sounding a bit inaudible during some of his bits due to whoever's playing this, which like overpowers his singing voice. Other than that, like Dr. Talk, it's a decent recording from Dr. Talk himself, Jerry Springer, and singer-songwriter Bobby G. Rice.
No, there's not a part of me that your sweet love don't reach to satisfy.
Track 7, Talkback Trembling Lips. Another song that features its original songwriter, Ernie Ashwood. Talkback Trembling Lips has always been a country favourite of myself to perform, back when I was in this country cover band I played with in high school, and I still love singing it now, in fact. This version, however, is okay, but you can tell that, like, Ernie's singing voice has aged badly compared to Bobby's from the previous song, in that he sounds like he's off timing, like his timing is off for the song's key change towards the middle bit, even though he's still on timing and beat for the most part during other durations of the song. Honestly, I thought it was just Jerry singing this thing the whole time until I had to listen closer as to identify Ernie's singing voice during this video's editing process, during which I literally isolated the raw vocals using an app I have on my computer. Here's the raw vocals, and tell me if you don't think it's just Jerry singing the whole song.
Talk back, trembling lips, shaky legs, don't just stand there.
Don't let her know she's getting through to you.
Talk back, trembling lips, burning eyes, don't start crying.
Heart, don't let her know that you're breaking in two. Dear, it seems that fighting is all we do. You'll do things to me you shouldn't do.
Every time you up and hurt my feelings, I pretend it couldn't matter less. I'm just hiding all of my emotions behind my broken heart, I guess. Don't let her know she's getting through to you.
The eighth and final track is Hank Loughlin's Please Help Me I'm Falling, featuring both Debbie and Kerry Moore. Honestly, this is one of the few times where Jerry sounds in tune and gives an okay performance. Only downside is that this arrangement given to him is too slow and boring. Like, this feels like it goes on forever. Like, it's just one of them songs that is a sleeper song. Like, you could literally fall asleep to it, how boring it sounds and lifeless.
Turn away from me, darling. I'm begging you to. Please help me, I'm falling in love with you.
While I get why Jerry would record an album like this for his older TV viewing audience, which I understand and respect, but unfortunately this album sucks in that it suffers from Jerry not having a good singing voice, the backing music and singers sounding like cheap karaoke tracks you download from YouTube. The duet singers obviously for the most part outshine Jerry, minus Ernie Ashwood of course. Plus the fact that this album doesn't work as a country concept album in that Dr. Talk is more of a pop spoken word type of song, and Mr. Tambourine Man is a folk pop tune, which both songs have nothing to do with country music at all. After this album, Jerry Springer's show would become known worldwide, with it being referenced in many movies and shows like Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me and Cat in the Hat respectively. Ultimately, the show would end in 2018, being replaced with another Jerry show called Judge Jerry, which played on the fact that he once had studied law in college, which would last from 2019 to 2022. Unfortunately, that year, Jerry would get diagnosed with cancer and would pass on the following year, at the age of 78. While he was a controversial talk show figure, Jerry Springer will be best remembered for his warm and caring personality, with the hundreds and thousands of guests who came to his show with a problem for him to somewhat resolve, while also getting into fights and shouting matches for TV ratings. While he originally started his show off with good intentions, ultimately Jerry was brought down by his and the producers of this show's greed and love of money and ratings. But overall, I just wanted to finally say thanks for watching this video. I'll hopefully be back soon with more content. Until next time, goodbye.
But what I've learned over our quarter century of shows is that deep down, we are all alike. Some of us just dress better, or had a better education, or better luck in the gene pool of parents. I'll say it again. Deep down, we are all the same. We all want to be happy. We cry when we're hurt, we're angry when we've been mistreated, and to be liked, accepted, and respected, not to mention loved, is the greatest gift of all. Yes, we're all alike. Know this, there's never been a moment in the 25 years of doing this show that I ever thought I was better than the people who appear on our stage. I'm not better, only lucky.